Welcome to my channel Enter Talks, and here we talk about real estate. Today I'm going to talk with you about how to do inspection. There is an inspection checklist for real estate. So when you buy real estate, you need to do inspections. You need to make sure that you have a good inspector who doesn't make comments, need more inspection, need more research, need more detailed research. So you need to have inspector, when he does inspections, he describes detail mistake, detail what is wrong with the property. So before you hire an inspector, ask him, can you send me a sample of previous inspection you did? I say, oh, it's a personal information. Okay, can you provide me basic information without the address, but pictures, description that I can study and see how it works? Because this is very important for me, because the right inspection will determine your success. We do general and structural inspection. It's very important to do general home inspection. Make sure that your inspector, when he does your inspections, you are present. You go after him, you stay next to him, and you ask him to give you comments. I always try to be at inspection when I buy a house because I've learned a lot. Also, when you do general inspection, make sure there is no structural problems. You also do structural inspection. Structural means that a roof, cracks, foundation inspection also goes here. You check everything. And you do separate foundation inspection if there is a problem. When the general inspector will tell you, oh, I have a question about structural stuff, you hire a structural engineer to do inspection. You do foundation inspection, you do roof inspection, you do exterior inspection, and you do fireplace and chimney inspection. Don't think that fireplace, if you do fireplace, you do not need to do chimney inspection. You need to make sure you do chimney inspection and fire inspection. I tell you a story. I always make money on fireplace, always made money on chimney inspection, almost every roof has a problem. Only if it's a brand new, like done recently, will not be questioned. You can deduct money. For example, you can get a invoice. People who do inspection, they also can give you invoice how much will it cost. Usually their price is higher than you can find directly. So they give you, for example, roof repairs will cost $7,000, and you take this 7,000 out, and then you go and hire someone who can do it for you for 4,000 or 5,000. So that's why when you do inspections, make sure that those who do inspections, in case if you need repairs, they can give you an invoice, and that will be a way for you to negotiate with the seller to discount the property. Next step, you do pest and environmental inspection. Always do termite and pest inspection. Make sure, not pest inspection, termite and pest inspection. When we were buying our home, I was buying a home from the owner. He was a builder, and I already checked the property. There is no general inspection, everything okay, and we asked him, we would like to do termite and pest inspection, and if we will find a problem, we will ask for discount. The seller said, yes, my house is perfect. We don't have termites, we don't have pests. And once we did inspection, we found, and we had to cover the house. So the seller gave us a huge discount. When he was in our negotiation, he was very firm on the price, and he said, I will not discount. I said, okay, if you do inspection and find a problem, would you discount? He said, yes, but I'm 100% sure that my property is in a perfect condition and it will not need any repairs. Then you do mold inspection. It's very important to do mold inspection, because this way you can see if there are some problems in the property. and we always do mold inspection. We also do radon inspection. You can study what it is. There are some gases and smell. It can influence your health. You can get cancer. So if you are going to live in a house, do not be greedy to pay for radon inspection. That can cost you life. Also, if you buy a house and it's old house, a lot of houses for sale in California, which were built till 1978. If the house was built by 1978, you always need to do lead-based inspection. This is very important to make sure, because they had a paint which influence your health and you can get a cancer. Also, you do asbestos inspection. Asbestos is not good for your health, so always do asbestos inspection. Also, if you are a property located next to the commercial building, I would strongly recommend you to do environmental inspection. When you buy commercial, always do environmental inspection. I've lost some money not doing environmental inspection. So what you do phase 1, and if they do phase 1, they will after that say, we recommend you phase 2 or not. Usually when they recommend you to do phase 2, that it's like a red sign for me that be careful, David, maybe do not continue, but make sure that who pays for that inspection, because phase 2 is very expensive inspection. Also, you do natural hazard disclosures. By the way, when you buy house, always read natural hazard disclosure. It's about flood, about fire, about earthquake and zones. It is very important. If you have a house and you own a house and you purchase a house and you have not read your natural hazard disclosure, strongly recommend you to read. Maybe after that you decide to sell or move out of the property and rent it. So that's very important. Also, we do electrical system inspections. When you come to the property and you see the property is old, you say, I'd like to do electrical inspection. Sometimes electrical inspection can say, oh, we need to change wiring. So when the inspections do, and let's say seller is not interested to sell to you, I take this documentation, I go to recorder's office and record the documents. So once I record the document, that means that he will never go around. Any buyer who will buy it, they will be pushed to change everything. Or you go to building department and say, well, look, I have inspection for this house. What do you recommend me? Sometimes they can come and red tag the property or yellow tag. So it depends. So you do plumbing inspection. Very important to do plumbing inspection, because plumbing is very expensive. So what types of pipes in a property and how to do it. Also, we do HVAC inspection. It's a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning inspection. Make sure that, because when you buy an older house, make sure that pipes, they are not dirty. Sometimes they are dirty. Sometimes your air conditioner is providing you bad air. It can create you cancer. So I always check. In most houses which I purchase, I change the pipes for air conditioning, because that's good for your health. Also, when you buy a house, you do sewer line inspection. Also, I do sewer, and also I do a periscope. That means they put inside like eyes and they go through the pipe, because the pipe, this is inspection of sewer between city and your house. This one will cost you a lot of money if you do not do it correctly. If you have a septic, that means that it's not city. A septic, always hire septic inspector. Make sure they do inspection to you. They come, they're not cheap. I think I paid close to $900, but they will do you detailed inspection. It will help you to save a lot of money. If you buy a property and there is a well on the property, always do well inspection, quality and flow test. What type of water? Is it healthy water? Not healthy? That's recommended. So when you also buy houses, sometimes in the last, I look around, I do energy audit of the property. Energy audit is very important. Also, if you have solar, always hire a solar specialist that he can come and do inspection. I had a situation, I purchased solar house with a solar, and I didn't do solar inspection, and the solar guy comes and say, oh my gosh, you need to put here additional 11,000 to make solar work again. And it's because solar was paid off. And I was thinking, oh, I'm getting a good deal. Solar is inside, but it doesn't mean that solar doesn't work. If I knew that solar had a problem, I would pay additional. This will be 11,000 discount, maybe 20, maybe 15. That will make me money. That's what I've lost, because I have not done inspection correctly, because I look at it and I say, oh, I don't need this inspection. So that's why you need to do inspections. Also, when you do inspections, you need to do fire inspection, safety systems. For example, alarms. When you buy a house, you need to go around and see there are alarms on the house. You need to check sprinkle system in a house, outside of house if needed, because in new homes they ask sprinkle system on your yard if it works or not, because sprinkle system can cost you money. So if you check that sprinkle system is not working, you ask the seller, please, can you repair it, or can you give me a credit for the repairs? Also, if you are elderly, you check for accessibility inspection. It's a ADA compliant, if applicable. If you buy a multifamily, you need to make sure that it's a ADA compliance. In a private house, you can see for yourself if you need it. So if you buy a house and you have a pool, you need to do pool inspection. If you have spa in your house, you need to do spa inspection. If you buy a house, there is a pond, you need to do pond inspection, water feature inspection. What kind of, is it good water in a pond or not? Irrigation inspections, sprinkler system inspections, like I told you, because it depends what you have. And also when you buy, you do land survey. If you buy a property and there is no lines, you always need to do survey. I was in a situation when you buy the house, and always, especially there are some areas in the Sacramento area, Placer area. I live in Sacramento. So you need to ask easements. They can mark you easements with a colored easements map. Usually when you're asking, they are not very happy to give, but title company can provide you easements. You need to check their easements. Also, before you buy, you make sure that there is no encumbrances on the check. Let's do search. There is not encumbrances, that somebody's fence is not on your property, or your property fence is not on somebody's property. So also do a title search. When you do title search, it doesn't mean that everything is okay to buy, because you can buy problem property with a title. So you need to read title. You need to ask people to title company, can you explain what each word means? You need to study inspection. If they done inspection, it doesn't mean that it's good. You need to study inspection, what was wrong, and check for everything. Say, okay, you did inspection, can you give me a invoice how much will cost to repair? And they will give it to you. Then when you do appraisal, make sure that they do an appraisal for you. When you do title search, make sure that they can explain you what it means. Do not buy without inspections. When you come to the property and you make a huge list of problems, a lot of sellers would not want to sell it to you. Say, no problem, I already paid money for this. I will go to the counter and check with them what to do. You can record that and they will have a problem, or you can negotiate with them a price and you can buy. So I love to buy properties. I come to people and say, how much do you want for the property? I want 1.2 million. No problem, sir. I will sign an agreement with you, but we will put a condition. The seller is guaranteed that if I find mistakes, serious problems with inspection, that you will reimburse it. Or if I will not buy it, you will reimburse me my payments. If I buy, for example, we buy a house and they say roof problem, and they say 3,000 to repair, then you deduct the 3,000. But if they say, and you say, I don't want to deduct, then you pay for the inspection. That's like honest way. And then you make decision, you buy or not. I hope this video was useful to you. Thanks for watching our channel Enter Talks. We talk about real estate. If you like our video, please subscribe, and we will be happy to see you in the next videos.